As the ICAC had deleted the data off the electronic devices, it gave the ICAC room to fabricate documents that they falsely suggested were found on these electronic devices. At my local court hearing, the ICAC investigator suggested that he had found approximately 24 documents on my external hard drive and laptop from which data was also previously deleted by the ICAC. The Department of Public Prosecution set the local court proceedings to begin on the 25th of August 2014. These proceedings ended on the 22nd of October 2014. During the local court proceedings, the ICAC investigator presented approximately 24 documents with forensic IT reports attached to them, which falsely indicated that these documents were found on my external hard drive and laptop. The ICAC information technology analyst, who referred to himself as the Specialist Investigator Forensic, read out his ICAC statement dated 26 July 2010 in court. He stated that he had allocated the electronic storage devices and the laptop a general overall MD5 identification number. However, he did not allocate individual identification numbers to separate the documents, giving the ICAC room to create many false documents identifying them using the same MD5 identification number. The ICAC manipulated the metadata type and produced false forensic IT reports based on the manipulated metadata type. The following is the ICAC investigator's evidence at the local court proceedings on the 25th of September 2014.
Go back. That is Exhibit 107, is that correct?
That's right.
It's the Dr. Hacker, leader Sandra Lazarus.
Yes.
Does it have?
The source of this document, which is the...
Now, the question I want to ask you, does it have the actual Operation Charity reference number and details on it?
On the Newark report here, it says
Yes, go on.
E10/0035/2/8.
Yep, so it
So
does
that's, yes, that's the
yeah,
source.
that's okay. Go on, we clarify that. Just have a look at Exhibit 108.
Exhibit 108 is the similar letter to the 187. The source of this document is E10/0035/2/9.
Thank you. So there is a reference number attached to the Newarks, but not to the document itself.
That's right.
Okay, thank you for that. Now, in the many investigations, Mr. Kane, that you've been involved in over the years, and there's going to be a public inquiry, fairness to the person of interest, that's the name given to the person you're investigating, a person of interest, they are given all necessary documents before the public inquiry so they can examine those documents. Is that the way it's done?
That's not correct.
All right, okay. Tell me how it's done, Will.
I'm going to stop you though.
Sorry?
How's that relevant?
It's relevant, Your Honour, because I'm going to put to this witness in a few moments that none of these Newarks ever appeared on any document that Sandra Lazarus obtained from the ICAC, and that these Newarks never existed in February of 2014. Maybe I just put it to you straight away, without going into that. 2011, sorry. I put it to you, Mr. Kane, that none of these Newarks on the documents that have been put into evidence as exhibits were given to Sandra Lazarus in February or prior to February or in February 2011 at the ICAC inquiry. What do you say about that?
I'm going to stop you again. That's not relevant, whether it was given to her for another inquiry, because this is entirely different. If you're going to ask whether, if you're putting that in fact none of these Newarks existed prior to a certain date, I'll allow that. But whether she got these documents for the ICAC inquiry is not relevant. What's relevant is what was...
Well, it's relevant to the fact that these have been fabricated after the event.
Well, you can put that.
Well, that's the allegation.
Your Honour, if I might be heard, the question that my friend might then ask, before that last question that was posited, that is, they are fabrications. The fact that a report into the Your Honour has already heard evidence how the documents themselves are generated from the original exhibits that were seized. Whether they existed or not at a time prior to them being seen by the defence, again, is not relevant because these documents are analysis of metadata that is generated from a seized document. All the witness, there's no relevance to the fact that the document was not called into existence at any stage. The relevance is whether the document that they were generated from was fabricated or that the document itself was a fabrication. The fact that it was generated at some point in time does not assist the court. The ultimate question is the only question that really is relevant.
That's right, Mr Nagel.
Well, Your Honour, we have an expert who is going to give evidence in regards to these NUICs, and the evidence part of the evidence that he will give will be that metadata can be changed, and the difficulty the defence has is that on my instructions, the hard drives and all the USBs were wiped by the ICAC, and what Ms Lazarus got back from the ICAC had no information on them at all, and when she returned them, they didn't give her all the information, so there's no way she can check the authenticity from her computer data. And that is one of the problems by not itemising and not giving her copies of what was being taken by the ICAC, particularly in computers. And that's a problem the defence has. So
the documents that were alleged to be found on my electronic devices were never presented at the ICAC private inquiries in 2010 or at the ICAC public inquiry in 2011. These documents only appeared in September 2014.